Jake and Adam.
Yo!
How are you guys from the Harper?
We're doing great. How you doing?
Doing great. Where you guys are from? Ohio?
That's right.
Sunny, balmy Ohio.
Just a couple kids from Akron, or just south of there.
How did you guys meet, and how did the show start?
Well, we met about 20 years ago on the shop floor at the Corp, which is what we call our show. I mean, our work on our show. And we knew each other kind of in passing for about 10 years.
Yeah.
And then there was a commercial that was on for the Harper, for the Hopper.
The Harper.
You remember that? But there was a bunch of people from Boston that were sitting around. It's the Harper.
The Harper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it became a little bit of a joke at work, to where like we'd see each other, we in the hallway be like, "It's the Harper." Well, we end up at a party, right, for a friend of ours one night, and we end up on the same cornhole team. And Adam's left hand catches fire, and we just start dropping people. And by the third game, we're shithoused. And every time we put one in, we yelled down to each other.
Actually, he wasn't even putting it in. We're just throwing cornholes, going, "Ah!"
Yes.
We're throwing dicks that everybody hates at this party, but they can't stop. We were like an enigma in that moment.
Yeah, it was good.
So that's been our calling from the beginning, and we decided a couple years ago to start a show.
Yeah.
And we decided that we get pissed off at normal life because most people are fucking annoying and we can't stand the dumb shit that they bring us.
Plus, we're like middle-aged now, and fuck it, right? What are you going to do? We're going to complain about a bunch of shit, like turning off the lights and, people that drive like shit and stuff like that. So
the people that annoy you got to harp about.
That's what I thought when I first heard the show. I was like, is it you guys harping on stuff? But I love that it goes to that. I think you guys should scream that in every show too, either at the end or at the beginning. The harp.
Just the entire time.
Have it just in the back.
There's a little bit of us that were like afraid to get sued from the Harper, but oh well.
We're pretty sure that that's actually bygone technology.
Yeah, I don't think
to
it's
where
around.
We're not going to get in trouble for that now.
No, that's.
And we've got a promo that we do a little bit Boston style, to where everything's got a little hop to it.
Yeah.
So it's a good time to lay that out there.
Love it. And I love your show. I've listened to your show. You guys do have a great camaraderie going. You guys do an amazing show. I just want to know which one of you guys, because I have to disagree, which one of you guys is not fond of Jeff Goldblum, because I love the Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, man, that's me. This is Jake all the way.
Jake, oh, man. He's just so smarmy. He's so full of himself for no reason. I love him. I love the Jeff Goldblum.
I mean, if Jeff Goldblum's last name was Favre, he would probably be the first person I'd fight in an octagon. I'm not gonna lie. Like those are 1 and 2.
We got a Bears fan here. The Bears.
You almost had a Bears fan, which wouldn't be far off either.
But oh my God, Jeff Goldblum in Tim and Eric's $1 Million Movie as Chef Goldblum. Just
Chef Goldblum.
Yes, as Chef.
Watch that actually.
Fucking watch it. Yeah, I watch that. It's we do every now and then we do these extra shows where we watch a movie, and that's one I have in the stack to watch. It's just so It's so bad, it's so great. And I kind of loved him in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, you got me on that. I hate him so bad. There's no way I'm gonna watch a movie with that name. If it didn't gross $100 million at the box office with Jeff Goldblum, there's a 98% chance I didn't see it.
Oh man.
Yeah, he just swore off Brad Pitt too for some Oscar statements. And
that
shit.
motherfucker. Don't even get me started.
What did he do over there? That bastard. What did he do?
Oh, he finally won after 30 years of waiting to win an Oscar.
It's about time.
He fucking gets up there and he's like, yeah, political, and thanks for the 4 people I was in the movie with, and Leonardo, your butthole smells nice. Like, that was literally what his speech was. I was
I'm
like,
sure
goddamn.
it does. I'm sure if there's any butthole that smells the best, it's got to be Leonardo's.
I mean, that thing's got to be bleached, right?
Yeah,
it's got to be. It's got to smell like candy.
He probably has a morning routine where it's just an hour of tending to his asshole.
2 knuckles deep wiping. There's a lot of cleaning. It's pristine. It's pristine. His asshole.
I mean, what's the over-under whether or not he has an assistant that's their actual job is just asshole cleaning for Leonardo DiCaprio?
Scrubbing the bung.
But when he goes for, like, casting, he just pulls down his pants and he's like, look at this asshole.
Look at this butthole, huh? Look at this. And then he slaps his cheeks.
Don't watch The Revenant, look at my butthole.
And they're
You
like,
guys are
you got
my
it.
kind of people. You guys are the best.
Birds of a cloth, brother.
Yes, I did too. I enjoyed hearing you guys talk about altercations that you've had with other shows. I just love it because some of the people I've heard you guys talk about are the same people I've had run-ins with and stuff. Yeah.
See, that's ironic because we were actually, I don't know how often this happens with you guys with interviews, but we were going to ask you a question or two, and that was literally question number 1 on the list, is if you guys had
any other conflicts or altercations with other podcasts.
We have 2 episodes from years ago just of conflict and controversy. We've had so many. We've had death threats. We've had lawsuit threats. But yeah, as far as other podcasts go, there's so many. There's so many that have pissed me off. And then I just take it to the show. And then it goes to another level. Usually after they hear it. There was one time too, we were in Potter Madness. It was like a competition, and I just shit on most of everybody we were up against. And
oh my God. See, that's Jake.
I am so proud of you right now. I can't believe my dad was spreading seed, a illegitimate brother across the pond.
Jake is always like, dude, let's start some shit with this podcast. Let's just do it. Let me do it. I'm like, no, man, pull it back.
Well, see, most of with us, it's like people coming at me or like at mentioning me in too much shit or like thinking they're my best buddy or like also like I don't care if we have guests that someone else has, but it's like when they seem to at every one of my tweets try to like piggyback and then get in on something like they're my best friend and try to get like that guest. Right. It's like, yeah, no, fuck off.
Yeah, you gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, get out of here.
That shit.
Hey, you gotta grind on your own time, right?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. That's hilarious. But no, it became kind of a part of our show, the beef that we had. We actually tried to give a shout out. We listened to these guys and they were marginal, but they were okay. So we were like, you know what? They've been all right, cordial to us. So we gave them a little shout out on our show. And then they wanted to start a bunch of shit over us using the term brass tacks. And they acted like we were crazy because we said, let's get down to brass tacks here. So they called us out for like 20 minutes on their show, and it's literally 2 sub 80 IQ people laughing at each other for 20 minutes making fun of us. So we decided to pull a bunch of excerpts from movies. So we've got who are the 4 that we got, Adam, that are at the beginning of our show?
We got Winston Wolfe from Pulp Fiction.
Johnny Depp from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah, we got Jim Carrey from something else. I'm not sure what that one's from.
Yeah, and then we've got our boy Jimmy McGill from Better Call Saul. So we've got 4 great excerpts that we have actually in the beginning of our show that all relate to getting down to brass tacks.
So nice.
So I won't say their name, but fuck those guys.
That's all I know.
They know it.
Who were the guys? Who did we call? We had one show where we made up a funny. Oh my God, what did we call them? I need to know now. I need to probably at some point go back and listen to what we called them. We just whatever their show was. We it's like, oh my fuck.
There's a few. There's one I remember, but I don't know
what we called them.
Say it.
Yeah, say it.
Was it the Wetback and the Wife?
No, it wasn't Wetback and the Wife. That was actually that was
Did you say Wetback?
Wetback and the Wife. That was a show. That's going way back.
Because I used to. One of my best friends, he got married early, had a kid early, and we used to always hang out over there because they had the first apartment, everybody went over there. And I had her convinced that that's how Mexicans got their name was because they only did it doggy style. What? Yeah. She got to went back. That was it.
That's his long-winded way of saying I'm the upgraded friend.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
He said wetback. I had to tell it.
Yeah. And I only did it because they had some insults. Like robot or something, some insult bot or something, and this thing started like coming at me on Twitter, and I was just like, oh, fuck you and fuck your show. And it was a Mexican guy and his wife who did the show, and that was my take on it. It was just we're Wetback and the Wife with the slam bot.
Yeah, I don't even mind giving it out to you. The guys that were coming at us were the Who's Right podcast. So
that's one I was trying to think of. That's one I don't know if it was his show or another show he did. The one guy, he does a couple shows. And actually, we are friends now. But something happened.
I'm sorry to hear that. I hope they're way cooler in person than they are with their show.
No, I never met him in person, and I haven't really talked to him in a long time. But oh my God, we came up with a name for them that was just like.
Oh, it was something blood clot,
and.
Blood clot and something in the morning. What the fuck was the other
one? Guy talks like he's got a stoma. It's like, yeah, I'm blood clot, everybody. Like, yeah, it was oh my God, I need to know. Yes, it was blood clot and something.
Blood clot
yes,
and something in the morning.
That's one of ours. Another one, and it's been a minute, but there's a guy named Jay Sandlin out there, and he's a real nudge. And then also Mike Jolitz. We went south with that man. There's a bunch. That.
I'm gonna have to write that
Exploded
down.
it? Remember the exploded it, guys?
For Mike Jolitz. I'm gonna need that fucking guy.
Oh yeah, get that guy on. You'll get sick of him at some point and shit all over him there. Slim just mentioned a show called The Exploded. We had these guys on, and we were super drunk that show. We did get silly, but these guys were like some wacky comedy show, and they just couldn't roll with it. We weren't shitting on them. We weren't doing anything besides just being silly, and they just couldn't go along with it. And they went on their next show, and they just bashed us. So we kept it going. We kept it going for years. Like they've done, I think, 4 or 5 hours on us. On
I think so. Yeah. Yep. I think if you Googled the Exploded It podcast, it's just Exploded to talk about Rob and Slim for like 3 pages.
I think if you Google it, it won't come up because I don't think those are up anymore. I tried to find those not too long ago and relive.
That's where I have to draw the line because I'm like, man, we're just giving these guys freaking material here.
Dude, that's it. And giving them material and giving them exposure. Like, not that I'm fucking Howard Stern or anything, but still, I'm not. We actually have done a few where I didn't even name the show, but they ended up hearing it, and that pissed the people off even more. Like, not actually giving their name.
Yeah.
Talk about it, but you don't say the name.
Yes. So yeah, man, there's no right way to do it. It's always wrong, and it's always long, and it'll do you wrong, and it's strong, and it's the way to go. It's the way to go.
Well,
just fuck them.
We ended up with the name of Who's Got Syphilis because we're pretty fucking sure that they're not coming by their shit easy. So
blood clot and something in the morning, we call them. Man.
Yeah, they got blood clot and syphilis, so things are looking up.
Now it's blood clot and syphilis in the morning.
Every morning on W.
Blood clot and syphilis every morning. There you go.
Yes. Oh my God. That's amazing.
So let me ask you, where are you guys broadcasting out of?
We're in Jersey. We do it at Slim's house in downtown Tuckerton. And the best thing about this town is every time you walk up the street, there's big dog shit piles. It's
the same over here.
San Francisco to
great.
us.
We got better dog shit piles than you over there, huh? You guys don't have the big dog shits. You have nice, meaty dog shits.
I don't know. I got that yard where I got 2 dogs that shit in my yard, so all the other dogs want to shit on top of my dog shit, so I don't know.
It's a shitting match. We're going to shit on each other.
I'm not going to lie.
Love it. You guys also do though a true crime show called The Gallows, and you guys are so funny. Like, do you bring comedy to that or no?
Not as much. We try to keep it down. Very minimal.
Yeah.
The Gallows actually derived from our show because part of our topics we would start to bring in some true crime things, and we would do this Gallows poll.
I'm gonna stop you real quick.
What?
Just to clarify. So what we got into at one point in time on our original show, The Harper, was people that you just want to fucking kill.
Oh, that's right.
And we were like, who would you like to send to the gallows this week?
Right.
To that's where the gallows poll started. That motherfucker that cut you off from 2 lanes over when you're trying to get off on an exit.
Or blood clot and syphilis.
And then it evolved into like these news stories where Jake had this news story where this guy had thrown this kid off a balcony in a mall, like 2 stories, and the kids lived. Yeah. And we're like, that dude definitely needs to go to the gallows. So that's where it kind of derived from. And then we turned it into a podcast. So
it's also am I accurate with this saying it's only true crime stories where the person has been executed?
Correct.
That is correct. And we've changed the format a little bit. I used to just give away, hey, this is who got executed, this is who he murdered, and then tell the story. We've tried to change it up a little bit to where I'll tell the story first, and then I'll give you the executed person at the end.
Yeah, we try to get into some gruesome details too. So
though I'm gonna tell you what, when you really look into what it takes in this country to be executed, it ain't as much as you think. And I've been
really
scarily surprised at how many people aren't actually ones pulling triggers, aren't actually ones that have real credible evidence against them, and they're like, "Yep, fuck it, you're going."
See, I thought you were gonna say, it's somebody that just did the most deplorable fucking shit, like.
Yeah, I mean, and even at that, we were even appalled at that. To where there's been a couple. We just actually did one to where it's going to debut on our show tomorrow. It took 3 years to execute a guy that was like, "I did it, kill me." And they were like, yeah, not right, not yet. We're going to hold on a minute.
He told you. He just dared you. He was calling you a pussy for not killing him.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And he did. He was basically like, you motherfuckers. He threatened his defense team. He's like, if you guys fucking do this, I'll fire you. Don't file any appeals. And it still took 3 years.
Get me
so
killed.
3 years is like our country minimum at this point.
Yeah, it's retarded.
Whoa, you
But
got a
it's,
waiting list?
it's nice to become an expert kind of a little bit on this. As we go along, we've learned a lot about it to where we're hoping to keep sharing that information with people to where you get to hear a good story, but at the same time, you get to learn a little bit more about how our justice system works and how it works for you and how it really doesn't fucking work for you in other ways.
Nice. That's an awesome thing. Not awesome, but it's awesome to know. It's awesome to know how to work around it. Like, what can I get away with?
Yeah. Hey, just for the record though, and we put this out there on our podcast. We're big on mental health. Like, we feel like mental health has a lot to do with a lot of these cases.
Yes.
To where we put helplines out there, stuff like that, to where we feel like people can connect if they're having an issue. But if we get to the point that we're gonna do somebody in, we're ready to put it on pay-per-view. I mean, we're ready to pay off national debt.
Yes.
We're going to break pay-per-view numbers. If they would bring back public execution on a pay-per-view forum, we would all be fucking shitting in high cotton. You know?
Didn't OJ do that? Didn't he have like a pay-per-view that was like, I did it?
I don't know if it was a pay-per-view. It was a special though. The OJ interviews or something like that, where he was like, "Well, I'm not saying I did, but if I did,
this is how I get away with
If
it."
I did it. Didn't he write an entire book around that concept of like, this is what I would have done
If I did it.
If I did it, huh?
yeah, I'm pretty sure that happened."
Yeah.
I remembered what we called that show.
Which one?
It was Strokey. It
Oh,
was
Strokey and Blood Clot, right?
Yeah, it was Blood
Strokey
Clot
and
and
Blood Clot in the
Strokey.
morning. Slim gets a bell. He remembered. We called him Strokey and Blood Clot in the morning.
An angel just got its wings. I didn't even know that was happening on this show. That's awesome.
This is it. This comedy pyramid. We come
Bam.
full circle.
Shit.
We come full circle. This is like Leonardo DiCaprio's butthole. It smells so good in here. Oh my god.
Sparkling. It is sparkling. Fancy fresh.
So just out of curiosity for us, for me, I was excited when Adam told me about the news that you guys wanted to talk to us. I listened to a couple of shows. I'm like, you guys are on point. So you guys interview a lot of podcasts. Is that a lot of what your base is, or do you guys have more that you guys have on your own? That's kind of like your own show. That's not the interviews that go with it.
Yeah, the first part of the show, every beginning of the show, we do an hour and a half. It's sometimes it'll be show reviews of something we're watching. It'll be just us talking shit to each other or stuff like that. We do. I do every week. I write a dark humor skit called Too Many Rapes. And we're in our third or fourth season of that right now. We're time traveling. Last season we were in outer space. It started with a guy who was he was driving and shooting up, got in an accident. He raped all the first responders, and then got sent to prison where he got raped. And then from there, it ended up in a big robot war, and then the whole planet got destroyed. And then we got shot up into outer space. We're trying to get these crystals to time travel back before we blew the earth up and save it, but by the time we got it all set up, the time circuits were all fucked up, and now we're jumping from year to year trying to get parts to fix it. And so right now we're in
our quantum leap season.
We're in Too Many Rapes, Time Rapists. And
So just to make sure I follow that was one show, right?
yeah, that's one clip.
It's genre bends a little bit.
Yeah, it's all over the goddamn place.
I'm a little disappointed on the imagination there.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like an extra in Dazed and Confused right now. Like I don't even know where that finished.
So there's
like,
that.
there was
There's
Rob
that.
Raping each other.
It's not finished. We're raping each other. It's fucking crazy. It's blood clotting strokes. And what else?
That link because I gotta hear exactly how this story fucking plays out.
Dude, there's a YouTube playlist for it. I will send it to you later. We do every week where one of us reads lyrics to a song as a character. We do. We do. Also, I figured out years ago, we got threats. We got threats when we would do news stories and laugh at them. So I said, let me do it as a sports announcer and set it to some catchy music. And we call it Drizzle News, where we do that every week. We tell some of the most horrific stories to this upbeat, fast-paced music, and we do that. And It's horrible. But
We never got any hate though.
no, we've never gotten hate since we started this formula. And then Slim does celebrity news because it's great because he doesn't know who these celebrities are.
Yeah,
and can't even
exactly.
pronounce their names half the time. So we do that, and then
That
we
was
do
Bob Costas doing a 2020, huh?
yeah, and then we do interviews like you said with podcasters, actors, musicians, and anybody that. I'll find people myself on Twitter and other places and ask them, and if they look good to me, if I want to have them on and then they get back to me, we always have them on.
And recently we have been doing prank calls where we'll do 30 minutes of we pick.
Love the prank call.
I will peel back the curtain right now and tell you it's because sometimes it happens because a guest canceled, but sometimes it's because I'm fucking gotten not lazy, but it's been doing this for 6 years, and sometimes it's hard keeping up on booking interviews, and so sometimes we'll just do the prank calls where we call certain establishments, and I try to pitch them a guy to do jingles for their show for their business, and
Nice.
and nobody wants any of our business.
So has it always been you two, or is you got like any interns or?
Oh yeah, we have Slambo. He's here
Slambo,
today.
but
Say hi.
Wait. He's an executive intern.
I'm the
That boy.
He's the Lamborghini, and Lamborghini. If I don't want to step on your toes here, but years ago, I think it was our first season, we had him do a power hour called Slam Time. So every minute, one of us would yell Slam Time, and he would do a shot of beer or liquor or moonshine. Moonshine got thrown in. I think Four Locos got into it too.
Yep, some Four
And
Locos.
by the end of the night, he was belligerent and just slapped a hole in the wall. And from then on, I just called him the Lamborghini.
That's it.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
dude, yeah,
We had an intern for a little while. He showed up for about 4 weeks. He was about 8 seconds off on all of his timing for our openings and closings and transitions.
Which we didn't hold against him. We still loved him, but
And then he
Yeah.
just stopped showing up.
we
had a couple, actually a lot of guys like
with
that.
fourth mics, where they
Yeah.
just stopped coming in, or like it always ended up where they hated me. Like they didn't mind everyone else, but I was the fucking real devil of the group. I was the real asshole. So yeah,
Right. But see, that wasn't the case for us. The weird part was this guy worked with us.
and still does.
Still
Still
does.
does. And we went into work and to where it didn't get talked about for a couple weeks, and they didn't show up again. And then we just kind of went on with our lives.
Just went
It was
on.
kind of like we ignored the fact that he just fucking quit.
Our last guy was Slim's last roommate, and he came on our show. We did months with us, and then out of the blue just stopped coming in. But yeah, lived with Slim, and we'd see him for years after that.
And by stop coming in, he would just stay in his room and we
Just
did the
not
show.
come out for the show anymore.
Well, thank you very much. I feel like it's not just me now.
You
I'm
guys,
kinda like, well,
I
what
feel
the fuck
like-
did we do? Not give you enough airtime? Like, what the fuck?
I feel like we're calling ourselves in another dimension right now. You guys are Rob and Slim and the Harpers. We're like from what's that? What's that when you are like a
I
legion?
love what you're doing right now. Adam usually edits this out on the Gallows podcast when I make those sounds, so you're on point. We
No,
are
the sound
cut from the
stay.
same fucking cloth.
Yeah, we are. Like you said, yep, just exactly. You guys are amazing people. And yeah, I love your shows. It's been a blast talking to you guys. We unfortunately have to wrap it up, but thank
It's
you.
all good.
Where can everybody find you guys?
All right, so the Harper end of it, we're at theharperguys.com, and then we're on all the platforms.
Yeah, and then we're also at thegallowspodcast.com, and then again, iTunes, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, anywhere you can find a podcast, you can find us.
And also, real quick, if I could add, you guys have your own production company as well, correct?
Oh yeah.
That's correct. So we produce both of the shows. We offer advice to young podcasters, people that are breaking in for the first time. There's a lot of questions that come in about equipment, how to get their sound better, if they get a hum in the background, to where we really try to help out with those kind of things. And we do all of that without any cost. We just want to try to promote people putting better content out there, and then at some point we're looking forward to evolving maybe into a film or something down the road.
That's awesome, and that's awesome because we like just same cloth. Slim answers a lot of people's questions about that kind of stuff, and like you said, for free. Yeah, most of the time it's people that will hit me up, and I'll just refer them to Slim, and he's a wizard with this stuff.
I feel like, Rob, you and I are the same person, where Adam is he's an IT guy at work and he's an IT guy here. I'm the color commentator that makes it all flow just a little bit, and he makes it all sound pretty and look good on the way out. So
Slambo burps. You need a Slambo. He burps. He'll rub stuff on his stomach too when you tell him to. Just take your shirt off, get in the bathtub, and rub things on your stomach.
I squirted, guys. We started the show out by I squirted a lime in his eye. That's how we opened the show
that's
tonight.
today's show.
I'm the one that pretty much takes all the abuse.
He's our
for the
stunt
show.
guy. He's our stunt guy.
Right, you need a stunt guy. We're on the lookout for our Slambo.
Hilarious story. Rob was like, "Slim, you don't do any cool bits anymore," and we were just like, "I'm just gonna squirt this lime into Slambo's eye."
enjoy it, Slambo. It's the only one you're getting tonight.
It's the gift that keeps on giving. It's why we love you. It's why you're a hit with the teens, the tweens. I don't know. I don't know what you are.
That's a weird word.
Twins.
Oh, guys, thank you, Jake and Adam. We will definitely
It's been
talk.
our pleasure. Thank you so much.
That's right.
We'll,
Bip, bip.
Jerry.
The Harper.
The Harper. See you guys.
We'll be back.